Hey guys! How y'all doing? Welcome back to our channel. This right now is actually more of a serious video. I've seen it from Jubilee. Believe that's how you pronounce it. Melissa's seen it from the
KB and Carla.
Mm-hmm. Basically a video where each couple talks about their relationship. There's a lot to us that y'all don't know. Even though we're not famous yet, but yet always talking existence. I want to share a little bit of us, of how we came up, how we started and everything. I think it's a really good topic about our whole life. Basically, when one person's telling their side of the story, the other person's listening to music and like blurring it out, so you cannot hear anything the other person's saying, so we cannot interrupt each other. So we decided to make this video, have more content for y'all.
We really wanted to show you guys another side, because even though, we say everything's for fun and we do enjoy it and we show you guys that side, we also want to show you guys this side, because really, nobody really knows this side of us. Even like our family and friends, they just see the fun, goofy, laid back side, and they don't actually see
there's a lot to us, yeah,
everything else. We don't really share that with anyone, so we thought it'd be a good idea around this time to share it with everyone. I don't know, it might help someone. It might
see how you can go with your relationship. Yeah. We're not perfect. We learn as we go.
I think we have a neat story.
We have a unique story. So let's get it going.
So we, as we said in that last video, we did actually meet in high school. We didn't meet, we didn't know each other. We saw each other. He knew who I was. I knew who he was, even though he doesn't believe me. And then we went off to different schools, and he started following me on Twitter, and we started talking. And somehow we got to hanging out. He would come see me after work, or come visit me at work, and then we would kind of just talk before I would go home. And then we just started hanging out. That was in the end of 2014. And then to the beginning of 2015.
Okay, so how did we meet? So I used to see Melissa in school and went to West Johnson. She was a sophomore, I was a freshman. And I always thought she was good looking. I always liked her. But I never talked to her. I knew people she hung out with. I saw her, I never knew her name, but I hung out with people that she knew. So, time passes, I totally forgot about her. Then I saw her. I found her on social media. Somehow we started following each other on Twitter. And then one night she was just texting. I was with one of my old friends from high school, Chris Tappan. And I was like, yo, this girl, she messaged me, yada, yada, yada. I really like her, da, da, da. And then she agreed to go on a date with me. I went on a date. I was broke. I had just deposited a check of $150, and that check did not go through. So when we went to Zaxby's, my card didn't go through. I had no money. So went to the bank. I was like, yo, can we get the $25 out of my savings or something? They said no, because we can take that out. We close out your savings. So I had to man up and be like, my check hasn't cashed. Can you pay for it? Luckily, she always had money at that time. We did go on a second date. Went to IHOP, and I paid it back for her. Basically, I talked about how we met.
Duh.
Oh, I talked about I met on Twitter. Then I was broke on our first date.
I didn't know you were broke.
I told you ended up paying.
Oh yeah.
For Zaxby's.
Your card declined.
Yeah, because I had just deposited a check and it didn't go through.
Yeah.
And then I promised you another one, so we went to IHOP.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you said you didn't like IHOP, but you went.
No,
I forgot to mention when I used to go see you at Cracker Barrel.
Oh, I said that.
Because when I worked at Nautica.
And I told her how my mom knew. She didn't know everything, but she knew, and she didn't really approve.
Yeah, I did not say that. Melissa's mom did not like me.
Yeah.
She did.
For no reason. I mean, she just never wanted, that was wanting me to feel. Yeah, so I don't remember my first impression when we started talking the first time. Or Twitter. I don't remember any of that, to be honest. But I do know for sure when we started talking this last time, he invited me to that party. I had no idea someone else was invited. I thought I was just invited because he would like me and was pursuing me. So glad she didn't show up. But it was just me and him, and I pulled up and I pulled in through the wrong place. And once I got there, I told him I was there, and he walked into my car. And I took Tiffany out. I don't know if he knew if Tiffany was coming, but anywhere I went, she went with me. So we both got out of the car. I had her present, and I saw him. Like, the minute I pulled into that parking lot, I was shaking. And I don't know why, because like I said, to me, he was just a friend, and it was just a friendship we were having, which is why I went, you know, as a friend. So I started shaking, didn't know what was going on, and he walked into my car, and obviously looked a lot different than he did the first time that we talked. He didn't know what to do. I could tell he didn't know what to do. I think he went in for a handshake. So I gave him a hug. And the minute I hugged him, it was just these feelings that came over me. And it's going to sound corny, but it did. Like, it's just feelings that I had not felt in such a long time. Like, it just felt different. So literally the minute I hugged him, it was like a knot in my throat. And it was all those feelings that I had before. And the anger and the pride and everything just kind of came back over me. So that was it. We pretty much from there, we sat down and we spent the afternoon together, and then from there I left because I went to another friend's dinner. I missed out on a good party, I heard, that night. He did a bunch of crazy stuff. And then I just enjoyed him so much that the next morning, I think, he invited me for a brunch. And when he invited me for brunch, I was like, okay, this is serious, because take me to brunch. Brunch is different than dinner. So we went to brunch, and again, he came up to me and took Tiffany, and he carried Tiffany in. So I was just kind of impressed that, you know, he took her like nothing. And we walked into the restaurant and we had coffee, and then from there we just, as of the moment that we had that brunch, I knew I wanted to be with him.
First impression of Melissa. It was, I think she was beautiful. I really liked her. So I've always liked her. So y'all heard from the previous question. So I always liked her. When I first saw her, I was just like, dang. One, she was beautiful. Two, she was thick. You know, I like my women. Like I like my oatmeal thick. But I really liked her. I liked her personality. I liked how she carried herself. I liked how she was with her daughter. I liked everything about her at that moment. I was really impressed by her because she had gone through a lot, but she always could hide the negative and be positive on the outside. Admired that. That's one of the things I was like, I need a woman in my life that's going to be strong, tough, that can endure anything. Because I know that I have a lot of plans in life, and I know that if I have a weak one, she's going to put me down. I need someone that can stay up there with me and keep pushing till we reach our desired goal. So I was mesmerized. That's the first time I saw her was when we were 18. And I was in love with her. First time I met her, the first time we were 18, I was amazed by her, how hard working she was, which kind of scared me. And then when we met again, I thought she was as amazing as she was the first time I met her. Basically, I just always been mesmerized. I always looked up to her. For everything she's been through, she's a strong woman. Appreciated her for that. So that was my first impression of Melissa. Basically, I just told him how you were amazing.
Really? Oh, they were kidding.
No, I'm being for real. How you were amazing, and I liked how you carried yourself. And even though you've been through a lot, you always were positive on the outside, even though you were hurting in the inside. You always knew how to carry yourself. So I always enjoyed that. Like that from you.
Wow, you're so deep.
No, I mean I said more, but
oh, I just talked about how I saw you when I went to.
And I was like, dang, she was thick.
Yeah, at Lizzie's party, and I was thankful that the other person did show up because I didn't know until years later that you had invited someone else.
I was just throwing my dice. I was like, whoever shows up, that's the one. I was like, whoever shows up is the one I'm keeping.
When I pulled into that parking, I was like,
She thought it was gonna be a simple.
My heart was beating. I was nervous. And then when I saw you, I remember you tried to shake my hand, and I went in for a hug because I was like, what is he doing?
I don't remember all that because I was lit.
And I remember I was so nervous, and the minute I hugged you, all my feelings came back. And then I said I went for brunch. We went to brunch the next morning.
How did I know she was the one? Like I said, she showed up to the birthday party. That was my decision to know she was the one. She showed up. And then instantly we connected. Like I said, everything. I was nervous around her, like she was nervous around me. And then when we started talking more, I knew she was the person I wanted to be with. I specifically told her I was the first. I have messages saved where I tell her I love her. I was the first person to tell her I love her. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I admit it. I was the first person to tell her I love her. I did. You know, I'm thankful we have Tiffany, and I'm glad for that. That's why I knew that she was the one, because I wanted to give her a life and Tiffany a life. And that's what, you know, made my decision. I was like, oh, this is what I want. I told my family, I told everybody. At first, everybody was indecisive about it and, you know, kind of iffy, but everybody grew on her and, you know, they seen that she's a good person and everybody enjoys being around her. So that's how I knew she was the one, when my family accepted her.
So I guess it was a little bit of everything that made me realize that he was the one. But pretty much to sum it all up, I think I always fought like us. Like even though I wanted it, somehow I kind of always made an excuse to why it wouldn't work, or I was really negative on myself. After I had Tiffany, I felt like I was just a mom and nothing else. And you know, my life didn't have a purpose other than being a mom, and I was really, like, I put myself down a lot. And he kind of lifted me up and was the one who made me see that there was more to me. But I think that for the most part, I knew he was the one whenever I saw how he accepted me. He accepted my past, he accepted who I was, and he accepted, you know, how lost I was. Because after I had Tiffany, I devoted myself completely to her, but I lost myself. So when I realized that he just wanted to help me, you know, valued me more than I valued myself, is when I realized, you know, he wants more for me than, you know, even myself. And that's the type of person that you need in life, to be able to go somewhere. So I think just knowing that, I said it whenever we got engaged, I put a quote, and it is truly the meaning of what he was to me at the time. And it was, I never knew I was going to find someone that had strong enough hands to hold my past and a big enough heart to put me into his future, or something like that. But it was pretty much saying, like, I had such a bad past, or what I felt like was a bad past, and I never thought I would be accepted the way that he accepted me. And more than anything, the way he brought in Tiffany. Le tenía un cariño, and just the way he was with her when we were alone, I saw, you know, he truly wants what's best for us, and I knew she would be in a good hands with him. So it's a little bit of everything that brought me to that, but I really can't decide on one thing. It was just who he was as a person and who I was as a person when I was with him, and when I saw all three of us together and what we could be. That really made me think that, you know, what it could be, and that he would be the one.
What was the question though?
How did you know he or she was the one?
Because you showed up to my party.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I told him I was rolling the dice. No, and I told him how I always liked it from the beginning. I knew that you were the one when I told my family about you. And I was so serious to be with you and give you and Tiffany the life they deserved. How eventually, you know, at first my family was opposed, but eventually, you know, my family was accepting. They've always been accepting. They accepted you and, you know, took you and Tiffany in like our own.
Yeah.
So that's when I knew you were the one. They said, oh, sorry.
I said that, I don't know, I said a little bit of everything and didn't say nothing. Cause I don't know, like it's a little, like it's like little bits and pieces that made me realize you were the one, but just kind of how you made me feel back then and how like low I was and like my self-esteem and who I was. Just I didn't think I was anything else but a mom, and I didn't think I could be anything else anymore. And you kind of changed that for me, and I saw, you know, your bond with Tiffany. That is, no one could just get that, you know. It's just, you have to want that. So
even though I was like skeptical, like I told you, a bond can't be made.
Yeah.
A bond is not instant. Even with a father that's her blood, a bond isn't instant. A bond is made. And she wanted me to be instant. And I guess, like I showed it to you, like it's with time. You learn how to love someone. And
no, you were just, you're not, the way you talk is not how I talk. Like you talk to children, well you did.
I talk to children, I still talk to Tiffany like she's a grown adult.
No, but you do play around with her, and back then.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I play around with her.
But I did see like how you were affectionate with her and would do stuff for her, and that's what made me realize like we would be in good hands because I saw that you actually cared for her. And then I also talked about how I would fight, you know, us pretty much like working out. Like I'd always put an excuse as to why it wouldn't work out, and you just accepted all of me, and that's when I knew.
Hardest part of our relationship was me giving my 100%. I have not been the best husband. I wanted a friendship with someone that I shouldn't have had it, and it was just a friendship. There was nothing else besides a friendship. You know, when I married Melissa, I still thought of me being a young single kid. You know, I still wanted to go out, I still wanted to party, I still wanted to do this, and I wanted to do all that with her. But at the same time, we had Tiffany, so we couldn't do that. So I was still getting adjusted to becoming a dad. I was still young and naive, so I had never been a dad. I never knew what a dad was. I mean, I always had my dad. I love my dad. You know, but they're older, so I never, thought about how to be a full-time dad, how to behave. So I was still making decisions on my own on myself. We learned how to become independent size, her do her thing, I do my thing. But, I still had to think about a whole, and I was fighting a battle within myself to realize that I was a dad and a husband at that point. And I knew I was a dad, but I didn't know how to be one completely. Now I know that I can't just pick up my stuff because there's two people I have to care for, Melissa and Tiffany. Especially more Tiffany, because she's my daughter, so I have to watch out for her. But my biggest difficulty or challenge was to realize that I was in this for a long term and not a short term, and that I wasn't what I was before. I couldn't just hit up whoever I wanted just to hang out. I had my wife, I had my daughter, and it was a night-day change all of a sudden, and it was really drastic, and no one taught me how to be a dad. You just wing it. I know you have the natural instincts start kicking in for mothers, just like dads. You try to protect your young one and give them the best you can. I switched jobs. I had a job where I was working too much. I was making way more money, but I sacrificed that money to go work in a job where I wasn't making as much, but I was there. I was there as a father to spend time with them. Eventually, I got raises. Now I'm in a position where I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm doing what I was doing before. I'm making what I'm making before. So I'm fine with that. So I was struggling for a little bit, and it was difficult. I learned by my mistakes. A year ago I did things that I shouldn't have done. It wasn't bad things, but it was disrespectful things that I should have thought before doing. And now that I realize what I did, I know that I have to be a better father and a husband to what I have around me. I have to realize what I have around me before I mess it up again. But that's the most difficult obstacle for me and for us to be okay was me accept that I'm a husband and a father, and not to think that I'm still a young kid that can do whatever he wants single. So that is the most difficult thing, is for me to mature. That was me to mature. Melissa was there. She had her wrongs, but I had most of my wrongs at the beginning of our relationship. Yeah.
I think we've had different types of problems or things that have been hard, I think the first thing that comes to mind is just my insecurities always got the best of me, and they really affected our relationship because for a long time I just had a mindset that, you know, not that every guy is the same, but I always had my guard up, and I think I still do, but I think it was just hard because I couldn't get over my past, and somehow I still compared that, because even though it was a shitty relationship, it was not worth it. There was a lot of things that I saw there that, I don't know, I don't know how to get into details, but pretty much I'd always compared him to anything that I've been through and just what I expected. And so it's kind of hard to get over things from your past, especially when it's so serious. And so I would always compare him to be like that, or I didn't understand why he wasn't the way I wanted him to be. And then of course the whole side of like Tiffany. I think that in the beginning I wanted him to be like 100% ready to go and be completely invested in us, and he was, but deep down, I think he just wasn't ready to settle down the way I wanted to settle down. So I guess in the beginning, when it comes to the hardest part of our relationship was our first year of marriage. A lot of people don't know that we went through something huge where we actually went separate ways for a few months. We moved out of the house pretty much and went to different places because we just needed it. I needed him to see that he needed to value me and that I wasn't gonna stay in a household like that. And he, I'm pretty sure, was just drained. It was just problems on top of problems. And I guess we were like on complete different roads, and he had, you know, an idea of things this way and I had an idea of things this way. And it was just a little bit of everything. It was our immaturity, it was my insecurities, it was like financially in the beginning. So I think overall it was just pretty much being on completely different paths and being able to come back together because we both wanted it. I guess there's been a lot of different parts of our relationship, but I would say that our first year of marriage was the most difficult. And you always hear that, but you don't really realize it or know why. But overall, just I guess always holding on to your past is always going to ruin your future. And I had to completely let go of that for me to be able to move forward with him. And pretty much, you know, I was on one maturity level and I wanted one thing. And I think really the beginning of our relationship was just, I was ready to be the perfect family and go on. And I don't think he was ready. We just moved so fast that I think we didn't realize what we were getting ourselves into. And I didn't understand him. So now that I look back at it, like I get why he was the way he was, and I get how I also affected that. But overall, I just think we really had to go through a lot and it get to the worst for us to realize what we truly wanted.
I'd say my hardest thing was me maturing and accepting that I was a dad and a husband. That I have mistakes.
Mine was my insecurities and not letting go of my past. And that we both weren't ready, and we were on completely different paths when we got together. And then we actually separated for a little while in the first year, and our first year was the hardest because we were on such different pages. And you wanted one thing and I wanted another thing. And I didn't understand you, and you didn't want what I wanted. So we had to go through that in order to know what we truly wanted.
I was still young and immature.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him how I took the role on as dad, but I didn't know what a dad was.
What has he taught me? Really, I think he's taught me a lot of things, but he's really uplifted me and taught me that I'm not just a mom. I'm a lot more than that. I'm still myself. That I need to continue my goals and believe in myself, because after I had Tiffany, I just completely, I was focused on her and nothing else, which is great, but at the same time, I kind of lost myself within that, and I pretty much thought my life was going to consist of me and her, me providing for her, me going to work and coming home to her, I didn't think that all the goals that I had and the mindset that I had was going to be possible anymore because I had a daughter. I felt like having a daughter was going to be like the pretty much shield, or was going to get in the way of everything that I did want to do. So he really taught me that I need to think big and that I can't settle and be only what, you know, I thought I was, and that I could be a lot more. But pretty much he taught me that I needed to believe in myself more and appreciate myself more and love myself more. Even now, like, obviously I'm not who I used to be. I don't feel the same way, as confident as I did. So he's really taught me to still love myself even through that, so that I can become a better person and become what I want to become. And I'm getting to it slowly but surely. And also he taught me to open up. I was so close. I didn't talk to anyone about anything. I didn't open up to anyone. I didn't talk about my feelings. I just kind of hid them inside of me, and then once it was too much, I would just blow up. So he's really taught me to face problems head on and talk things out and get to a solution, because I was pretty much just exploding and not ever letting anything out. So he really taught me to listen to myself as well as to listen to him and communicate and just overall just love myself.
What has Melissa taught me about that I have a caring side, I have a loving side, that I know that I'm not always such a tough person. She taught me that I do care about others, I just don't know how to show it. Or maybe I do show it, but I show it in my own ways. She's taught me that I can be a better person, not just financially. You know, I've always told her, you know, I show you how I love you by the way I take care of you and everything you have. But that I can be a loving person and I can show her with my emotions. And I'm not a person that's gonna lie and text her this ooey gooey stuff. Like, I'm gonna show with actions. I'm an action person, not a word person. So she's taught me how to love and care for others, and I greatly appreciate her for that, for teaching me how to love and care for other people, especially them, especially her and Tiffany. You know, they're my world. They're the people that I think about the most, and they're the people that I bust my toe for every day. Everything I do, every decision I make is for them, you know, and I keep doing it till the day I die.
What have I taught you?
How to love and how to care about others. And that I don't have to be such a hard A all the time.
But you still are.
I still am, but I know how to love someone.
How do you love someone?
I told him that how I know that I always told you that I show you how I love you by what I give you and how I can support you financially. But I know that there's more to that, and that, you know, I can love physically. And I know that the people I have to love and care for the rest of my life is you and Tiffany.
I talked about how you taught me to love myself more and care for myself more, because I pretty much gave up on myself after having Tiffany. You taught me how to communicate, because I would always just hold everything in and then just blow up. And you taught me to talk things out and sit through them and face it head on. I love his sense of humor, funny side, just always seeing the good in everything. He actually brings out another part of me that no one really gets to see, because I can joke around with him and know that I'm not going to be judged. I can act however I want and know I'm not going to be judged. So pretty much I just love... What annoys me the most about him is what I love the most about him. Even though I can't stand his immaturity, I love how playful he is. So even though it bothers me, I do also love it because it brings out a good part of me. I love seeing what it brings out of Tiffany. So I really like it. I like, you know, how he is. What another thing that I love the most about him is just seeing how much he loves Tiffany. He can say he loves her, he can say he cares for her, but the actions that I see that he does for her shows me that he truly does love her. It's crazy because, you know, he doesn't have to, but he does. And that to me just means the world. I say I love his goofy side. I say I love his protective side. I say I love his affectionate side when he is. And I love, you know, his confidence and how he builds us up. But more than anything, I love the love that he has for Tiffany more than anything else.
I love how caring she is. She's and entregada she is for the other person. I love how she will bend over backwards for everybody else, even if she has to put herself before them. I love how she's really caring for me. She cares about us. She cares about Tiffany. She'll give her life for Tiffany. I love how she is as a mother. I love how she is as a wife. I just love how she is in person. And, you know, there's things we've had to change because of her previous experiences and her previous relationship. But she is a unique person, and she's entregada. Sometimes she sacrificed so much about herself, but, you know, I've tried to bring her back on track, you know, think about herself and her being instead and to be a better person for herself. But I enjoy everything about her. I love everything about her. There's not one single thing that I can't say that I don't love. Besides her personality, her attitude, she's a little feisty, but I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a loving person. I'm not gonna be faking everything. I'm not gonna be like all ooey gooey here, but I can tell you that I care for everything about her. I love everything about her. She's an amazing person, and I appreciate that. And I'm happy for me that I have a person like that in my life.
Is there anything I want to tell him? I always tell him everything. But more than anything, I just love him and appreciate him and thank him for everything he's done for us and continues to do. In this last year, he's done a complete 360 and changed so much. And I don't think it was forced this time. So I really appreciate just the fact that he's done everything that he's done for us and has gone out of his comfort zone to give me what I want, what I need as well. But more than anything, I just love him and can't wait for the rest of our future and really appreciate him being the best dad in the world, because he is. I know he sometimes feels like he will never fill that void, and of course, you know, it is what it is, but I know that Tiffany could not have a better dad than what he has right now. And I wish people could see it, because they don't. He just does so much more for her and is a whole other person with her that I would never expect him to be. So more than anything, I just want him to know that I love him, and then I thank him for being who he is with us, accepting us, caring for us, and protecting us more than anything else, and always giving him my place.
There's nothing I want to tell her. I mean, I don't tell her every day. I do appreciate her. I admire her. I like everything about her. So there's not ever much that I want to tell her. I think she's an amazing person, and I want the best for us. And that's basically all I have to tell her. I mean, she's a beautiful person in and out, and she's had her difficulties, and I know there's better for us to come. So basically, this is a little bit about ourselves and how we are and what our relationship is. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. It's a little bit rocky. We're still learning. We're still growing. We're still young. We still have a lot of life before us. But we're here to grow and experience and enjoy life together.
And I apologize for being so lost, because this wasn't really that planned and I wasn't prepared. So my answers are all over the place. But if you stuck through us this long, this is probably our longest video. So if you watched it from beginning to end, we really appreciate it, and we love you guys.
Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and see you next one. Next one probably won't be that sad and depressing. It will be back to our normal selves. But thank you for watching. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Peace out. Bye.